Welcome to this special LifeSpring Global Missions Report. I recently returned from a visit to southern India in which we traveled 2,500 kilometers by road, beginning with Hyderabad airport and then driving right across to the city of Rajahmundry and then to Vijayawada and to Khammam and then back to Hyderabad. Everywhere we went, people were so excited to see us, greeted us with such warm welcome and enthusiasm. We did three main things. Firstly, we visited many churches, and everywhere we went, the churches were packed with excited, worshiping believers. These buildings were overflowing into the street outside. The PA speakers aren't just in the building, they're outside. Everyone hears the gospel, everyone hears the worship. And often these are predominantly Hindu areas. And people are open and hungry. You've got to understand that. One of the highlights of the trip, the church was packed inside, and outside there were between 100 and 150 people seated in rows down the road, in the street. We saw people saved, and we heard about families coming from the village who had heard the gospel through these big PA speakers. Last year, we raised funds for a borehole project. These people suffer during the dry season with lack of water, having to walk sometimes many kilometers just to fetch water. And through the generosity of our LifeSpring Global partners, we were able to raise funds to provide this fantastic borehole and pump, which has revolutionized that community. We're here at Gaduvarigoram village,
yes.
And Pastor Titus is here, and this is the bore well that was built.
Yes, thank you so much, the LifeSpring Church. It's a great, useful to us, and many were blessed by this water. Nearly like 100 people they're blessing by this borewell. Thank you so much.
The second thing we did was to move outside and hold open air evangelistic healing meetings where hundreds and hundreds of people attended. Presence of God was so powerful. Transformation of people's lives. People being set free from sickness and oppression, and people coming to Christ. It was such a joy to know that people are hungry to know the Lord. The third thing we did was that in each of the three cities, we gathered pastors and leaders. These dear, precious men and women of God, they are so hungry for the Word. Some of these churches have lost their leaders during the pandemic to COVID and other associated sicknesses. There's been thousands of pastors across India over the last 2 years that have lost their lives. Others were stepping up, some of them really young. We visited one church that I know very well, where the 21-year-old son of a pastor who'd lost his life had stepped up and is now leading that church, supported by leaders around him. It's just amazing. The final purpose for this visit to India was to seal a growing and deepening relationship. So we have now established LifeSpring in India, and they are so excited and passionate about this. Across the world, we have a vision, 20 nations by the year 2030. 20 nations in which we are working in covenant relationship with trusted, anointed leaders in each nation. I know that some of you are financial partners with LifeSpring Global, and I especially want to thank you for your love, your generosity, and your prayers. It is because of this financial partnership that we are able to extend ministry into nations like India, and we can go as far as our resources will take us. So perhaps you're watching this report and you've been stirred and inspired and may want to consider partnering with us. Check out the details of how you can become a monthly financial ministry partner with LifeSpring Global and help us to extend the gospel to the nations of the world. And I can't wait to be back in future newsletter reports to tell you more of what the Lord is doing.